Was it planned or an accident so that your baby could have Singaporean citizenship? Oh, your face is swollen, oh, you put on weight or what? I was scared, I was nervous. Are you kidding? This is like content gold. Oh my goodness. Waterfront, I learned the hard way. Hello and welcome. Hi, I'm Satshya. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It has been so long since I've said that, and so much has happened. I'll probably be able to explain in another video, but in this video I'll be able to answer all your questions that was on the previous video about my pregnancy in Singapore and all of the other questions that you had. Let's not waste any time. You also don't waste any time and subscribe to my channel. And let's get into it. Hello! Easy. So first question, why did I give birth in Singapore? Some context, I am from India. I've lived in India all my life, but for the past 2 years after I got married, I was living in Singapore with my husband. I know that it's usually a norm when you're living abroad and it's time for delivery, people usually move back to India because you have a better support system here and you're able to recover better around family. And I thought that was also going to be my plan. However, what I didn't know is that you're not allowed to fly after 7 months of pregnancy. So that would mean 7, 8, 9 plus 2 months at least after birth recovery. That's about 4 to 5 months that you are away from your partner. I didn't want to be away from Akash for that long, and we have a dog also, so it would have been very difficult to be apart from the two of them for so long. And we had the choice to even make this decision simply because Akash's company was paying for maternity insurance, because otherwise giving birth in Singapore is extremely expensive. It's like 10 times the cost of what it would be in India. So yeah, even having that option of do we do it here or there was in itself a blessing. And so ultimately I just decided that I wanted to be with my partner. I wanted to experience this time with him. I didn't want him to miss out on, you know, the joys of me ordering him around when I was heavily pregnant, saying pick this, pick that, do this, do that, massage my feet. But more seriously, I mean, he didn't want to miss out on his child's birth and also the newborn phase, you know, which everyone says goes by so fast, and it is true. Like my daughter's about 3 months now, so now when I look back at it, I feel like it went like that. So I'm really glad that he got that chance to experience fatherhood firsthand. He was in the delivery room with me, he was there when the baby was born. All of these things, I think, was something that we really wanted to do. So that is why I decided to give birth in Singapore. And no, you do not get citizenship by birth in Singapore. A lot of people are asking, like, did you do this so that your baby could have Singaporean citizenship? No, that is not the case. Next question is, why did I keep my pregnancy private? Uh, so again, for some context, if this is the first time you're coming to my channel, I had been making content throughout my pregnancy, but I had not revealed that I was pregnant. I was only filming videos from like here up, so you couldn't tell that I was pregnant. Of course, some people were like, oh, your face is swollen, oh, you put on weight or what. So there are a couple of reasons, and I will take you through my thought process because I've thought about this a lot. So for the first 3 months that you're pregnant, usually you don't tell people because % of all miscarriages happen in the first trimester, and that's a very scary statistic. This thing about miscarriages, I think probably because people are talking about it more often, you know, you hear so many more cases of it that you didn't think it was that common, but there are so many people who go through miscarriages very early in their pregnancy, and so that's a very scary thought to have when you are pregnant. And this is my first pregnancy, so I didn't know what to expect. I was scared, I was nervous, I was all of these emotions, right? I was also following a lot of content creators who had made their pregnancy public, following them to follow their journey, you know, to kind of see what life is going to be like. But when I would scroll down to the comments, I would see people be like, oh, don't eat that, it's bad for the baby, oh, don't wear heels, oh, don't do this, don't do that. And you know, as an audience member reading it myself, I was getting scared. And so I could only imagine what the creator would be feeling. Like if someone would have commented these things on my post, I would have gotten so scared and like not eaten anything or not stepped out of the house. Just take things seriously when you're going into a situation you don't know anything about, so you kind of assume everybody else knows better. But especially when it comes to pregnancy, this one thing I've learned: everyone loves to give advice. Kind of advice that I heard from people around was like, don't eat papaya, it's very heating for the body, don't do this, don't eat almonds, don't do this. I think what they mean is don't excessively eat it, but even if they say don't eat papaya, it will cause premature labor, right? I never eat papaya because I was so scared. Like, I know, logically, I know that I can eat 2 pieces, nothing will happen, but that fear was there within me. And so I knew that if I made it public, and look, if you don't want people to talk about something, you don't just talk about it yourself. Like, you can't tell everybody, hey, I'm pregnant, and then be offended when someone asks about it or wants to talk about it or wants to give you advice about it, because that's just human nature, right? Obviously, someone has shared something with you, people will respond. So if I did not want a constant barrage of 10,000 people giving me advice and feeling like it would affect me mentally or make me more scared, then I shouldn't talk about it at all. That's why I just kept it private. I only told a few friends, and I told some creator friends also, and someone was like, you know, what, why are you giving it a secret? This is like content gold, you know, people who have made their careers out of like being pregnant and having kids and starting a family. And while all that is true, like it can work out great for your content career, but mentally it does cause a toll. And I don't know about those creators, how they are managing. Either they have got like nerves of steel, or they don't read comments, or they just have an amazing sense of self. I don't know how they got through it, but for me, I knew personally, I know me, I would get terribly affected by it. So if you are someone who's a content creator and maybe you are pregnant and you want to share your journey, just a heads up that main thing is prioritize your mental health and physical health, because the most important thing is you want a healthy pregnancy, right? And a lot of external factors, especially stress, can affect that. So be wise in your choice of what you want to share, and make sure to have those boundaries also of what you don't want to talk about, so that you can protect yourself and your baby. The next question I got is, why didn't I go for a C-section? I knew from the beginning I wanted to have a vaginal delivery, simply because, you know, once you have a C-section, it is a major surgery. So recovering from it also takes a very long time. And that's also the time that your newborn is like so tiny and they want to feed so often, they're crying, they're pooping, you yourself are recovering, and I just wanted to be in the best of health. I would rather endure like 8 hours of pain versus 3 weeks of pain, you know. And with the vaginal delivery itself, the recovery took some time, so I can only imagine how much harder it would have been if I did a C-section, and it would have been so much more difficult. So if I had a choice, of course I would opt for, again, if I had another kid, I would opt for a vaginal delivery. But if the only way for the baby to come out was a C-section, then of course I would opt for that. But again, even in such a case, having a choice is a blessing, because I know a lot of women who really wanted to have vaginal deliveries, but because of health complications had to opt for a C-section. And it is not helpful when people are like, oh, you took the easy way out, or oh, it would have been like you're not even given birth, right? Oh, you didn't even experience giving birth. They have given birth, there's a baby out there. And yeah, it is very hurtful when you say that, all the more because they take, it's a major, you're cutting through what, 7 layers of skin. You have those stitches, it takes forever to heal. You can't wear high waist pants, you can't wear like even regular pants cutting into those stitches. It's a whole thing. So even if you are thinking that, oh, I don't want to go through the pain of a vaginal delivery, please speak to your doctor and figure out the best option for you, because a C-section is definitely not the easy way out. Next question, was the epidural injection painful? It was not actually, mainly because even though they put it through my spine, I had the laughing gas on, so that was it had an anesthetic effect, so I didn't feel the injection go in at all. I didn't feel the pain at all. I didn't feel like, it was absolutely painless for me, the epidural. But I know that one of my friends who recently gave birth, she said that her back hurt a lot after the injection, after the spinal tap was taken out, and it hurt for like a week or two even after birth. Yeah, she told me it hurt, but for me, I guess I was very lucky, or my technician was really good and really precise, that I didn't feel any pain whatsoever. And again, if you see my previous video, you know I'm a huge fan of epidurals. So yeah, I would 100% do it again. Next question, what about water breaking? Oh my goodness, this I'd seen in every movie, that when you're walking saying psh, water in front, you say, oh, my water broke, we need to go to the hospital, and that's when you know you're going to labor. Fact is that not everyone's water breaks. Mine did not break. Mine actually, when I was in the hospital already admitted, and they were checking me for how dilated I was, and then she was like, okay, I'm going to break your water now. And then I was like, okay, and then she like did something, and whoosh, I felt that water. So yeah, not everyone's water breaks before going into labor. If yours doesn't, but you still have contractions, please go to the hospital. Sometimes your water breaks and then your contractions begin. Cool, then go, but don't be like, oh, my water didn't break yet, I'm gonna sit here only. Myth I learned the hard way. Next question, how much did you walk during pregnancy? And this is because I said that I was very fit and I walked a lot during my pregnancy. I would go for a walk with my dog every morning for about 1 hour. So say 6:30 to 7:30, we would walk for 1 hour around our neighborhood. And I'm not saying we walked like continuously for 1 hour. Maybe I would walk for like 20 minutes, take a break, sit for like 5 minutes, heel sit and smell the ground, etc., then walk some more. But I was made sure to be active for 1 hour continuously. And even in the evening, I would walk for about half an hour to 45 minutes. I did this, I think, up until the 8th month of pregnancy. But by then, if I walked too much, my feet would start swelling up, and also it was not safe. If I slipped anywhere, because I was quite pregnant, I should not fall, because that would cause premature labor, etc. That's not healthy for the baby. So for that reason, then we hired a dog walker. So in my last month of pregnancy, I did not walk at all. It was our dog walker who was walking the dog. She was one of our neighbors actually, and but I made sure to just walk around the house, and I was doing the prenatal yoga also, so that helped. And I firmly do believe that because I was so active throughout my pregnancy, I recovered super fast. And also I was waiting to get back to walking around, and the more you walk around, the fresher you feel, because otherwise you're in bed all day, feel lethargic, you feel even more tired apart from the sleepless night. So you need something to invigorate you. So soon after I gave birth, after like a week or so, I restarted my walks with my dog, and that used to be my favorite time of the day. I used to feel so fresh, so good, and I think that really also helped with my mental health also, because it was a smooth time. So keep walking as much as you can. I know now summer, it's really hot. Walk around the house or walk late at night. Make sure you keep walking, because it really helps. It really helps physically, mentally, emotionally, everything. Keep on walking. Next question, was it planned or an accident? Accidentally planned or planned accident, everything is part of God's plan. How could you manage without elders? Valid question. If I was in India, I know that things would have been a lot smoother, because there was a point where it got difficult managing like food, dishes, laundry, house, all of those things. So we had to hire a cook. We hired someone to come and clean the house twice a week, and all of these things are quite expensive in Singapore. So these were things that I kept saying, no, I can manage, but it got to a point where I was like, I cannot manage. There are two sides to this, right? One is, yes, you have that family support, you have a very comfortable pregnancy, it's great. But on the other side, going through a difficult time and navigating this process with your husband, and it's just the two of you, I think it brings you closer, a lot closer. It also makes men understand what you're going through, I feel, a little bit more, because they are just seeing a big stomach like this. No, if everybody else was taking care of you, they would just be like, oh yeah, chill, what do I have to do? But here, where it's just the two of you, it's your husband then who has to take on the load of the responsibilities of like when you're 9 months pregnant, you can't even bend. I would highly recommend involving your husband deeply in these things, because then he'll appreciate you so much more, and all that you've been through. But yes, after giving birth, I was very lucky that my in-laws came and stayed with us for a while, my parents came and stayed with us for a while, and even having that kind of support, I mean, I can't even imagine having a baby, a newborn, without anybody. If it was just me and my husband, are you kidding? Like, I can't even imagine doing it. I don't know how people do it in the West, but it was such a help to have family around. We also had something called a confinement nanny, which is someone who comes, or you call it a japa nurse in India, someone who comes for 30 days and takes care of the child entirely, takes care of the mother. She also cooks, cleans, takes care of the house, laundry. So you as a mom, you have nothing else to worry about, nothing else to think about other than the fact that you just have to feed your baby, take care of your baby, and recover yourself, because even your body has gone through, my god, I don't know what. So it is like, if someone tells you, hey, should I hold the baby for a bit while you go have a bath, don't be like, no, 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 I'll hold her. Just be like, yes, please hold her, run, have a bath, eat something, do, take care of yourself. Don't think that you know, you're a bad mother if you ask for help, because it is difficult. It is extremely difficult, and God bless the hearts of those people who offer to help. And so when someone is like, let me help out, take that help. And final question, why don't I show my baby's face? I get this DM a lot, like, hey, please show us her face, we want to see her face. And I understand, I mean, if I was in your place, I'd also be very curious. I'm also very curious about everyone else's babies. But there are two reasons why I'm not comfortable showing her face right now. And let me take you through that thought process. So one is, just as parents, look, the internet is so vast, okay, especially if you're some of the public account, not even if you're a creator, if you are just someone, you just have a Instagram page with like 20 followers but your page is public, posting your children's faces or posting about them or posting their videos, you don't know who can access it, because the internet is so vast. Like, it could be some random person sitting in Estonia who's looking at your kids' pictures, or knows that your kid's favorite color is blue, or knows the nicknames that you have for them, and you are opening up a world of information about your child to the internet. And a couple of years ago, I wouldn't have thought much about it. Started being like, yeah, you know, obviously everyone wants to share their kids' pictures, everyone's kids are cute, and you're like, oh, you know, your friends and family want to see what they're up to, what they're doing. It's an innate need to share. But I read this New York Times article, I'll link it here, I'll put the screenshot also, about how an investigation into how pedophiles were using social media to get content or to get access to victims. And this one particular quote really stood out to me, where someone said, you know, we don't even have to work hard anymore, because internet moms or oversharers are just giving us their kids on a platter. It's like a candy shop, and just seeing that chilled my blood and made me feel so disgusted and so scared. Like, I do not want to do anything that puts my child in danger, and I'm sure no parent will want to do. Like, even if your child rolls a little bit, you'll be careful, you know, you're so scared. But you need to have that same kind of caution even when you're posting your kid online, because you don't know what can happen. You don't want, suppose, you know, someone just comes up to your kid's school and it's like, hey, calls them by their nickname and says, hey, I'm your mom's friend, you know, she told me to bring you home. And they're like, but you know, I don't know you. Then they'll say, oh, but she told me all these things about you, that this is your favorite TV character, this is your favorite fruit, how else would I know if your mom didn't tell me, you know? Like, I don't know, maybe it's being a parent makes you like extra paranoid about your kids, but I just don't want to take any chances. Just as a precautionary measure, I think all parents, if you have a public page or if your page is open, please be careful about what you're posting about your children. You know, now I'm getting a lot of parenting reels and all that on Instagram, and so I get a lot of these like parenting reels, right? And I see comments. So there are some people who are like, oh, my daughter would never do this, she's blah blah blah. And you know, nosy person, busybody that I am, I go to that person's profile, especially if there's some crazy hate comment, I go to their profile and I see. And so many times I've seen that these are parents, their pages are public, they're posting so many things about their 3 kids. I know their 3 kids' names, I know which school they go to, I know which place they live in, I know what their house looks like from inside, outside, everything. And you don't realize how much information you're sharing. And this is as a content creator who shares so much. I think the reason I'm all the more conscious is because now I'm aware of the fact that when you share something, people remember it. Like, a lot of times you think you're posting something, you post and you forget about it, but people who see it remember it, because that's just how information works, right? So sometimes when I meet someone who follows me, I meet them in person and they're like, oh, hey, how's Tonu? And for a second I'm like, how do you know my dog's name? And I'm like, oh yeah, because I posted about it. So I don't want that to happen in the case of my daughter. I don't want her private information out there. The second reason is kid accounts, family accounts. They do so well, like they are internet gold. But at what cost? I became a content creator out of my own choice. And I have to admit that when I first started, I was probably not as aware about how much I'm sharing. And there are things that I've shared that I regret and is very cringe now. But that was my choice, and that was my choice as a grown adult. My daughter doesn't have a choice. I want her to live her own life. I want her to have a very normal life. I don't want strangers coming up to her and saying, oh hey, we love your videos. She'll be so confused, like, where are my videos? And I don't want her to become aware of a camera and feel like she has to perform for the camera and be cute for the camera so that it's a good video. I've seen so many of these family channels where moms are like, okay, smile, okay, do that again, okay, retake. And I don't, okay, how do I put this in a nice way? I want my kid to be a kid. I want her to have a normal childhood, a happy childhood, not to worry about likes, followers, etc. I don't want her to grow up and, you know, 10 years down the line, go to my profile and see comments that people have left about her appearance, what she sounds like, or she has a funny nose, or she has a cute eyes. I don't want her perception to be molded by what others think of her. I want her to be able to develop it herself. And if there are people saying mean things about her, I would rather it be in person on the playground rather than some 50-year-old man on the internet. It's something I've thought about a lot, and I know that sometimes I'm so tempted, like she's so cute and sometimes she makes the funniest faces and the cutest faces, and I am tempted to share it, but there is a reason. There is something called WhatsApp and there is something called family groups, and so I just send it there. I may show a picture of her, I don't know, at this point, if I even feel like posting a picture, I'm immediately like, no, 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 I don't want her. I want to protect her. I want to protect her. But I know that that won't last forever. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. There are two pigeons outside and they are pecking themselves very aggressively. So I'm distracted. This is another thing of pregnancy and motherhood. It's called mom brain. Like, you just lose track of thought. And I feel like you're not able to gather your thoughts as well. So that is my excuse to end this video. I hope that this cleared some things that you had in your mind. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comments. Hopefully I'll be able to get around to making the video soon. I have to get to my baby. It's been a while now that she's been sleeping, so let me go check on her. Bye.